One of the most popular and revered series on television today is Outlander, without a doubt. The show tells the story of an English combat nurse from 1945 who is mysteriously swept back in time to 1743 and stars Katrina Balfe, Sam Heughan, and Sophie Skelton. So stay tuned and don't go away because we're revealing how Sam Heughan underwent drastic change before landing the Outlander role. First up, what drastic changes did Sam Heughan have to undergo before landing his role in Outlander? You're about to find out. Outlander actor and star Sam Heughan, who plays the character Jamie Fraser, recently revealed that he underwent a major change before landing his role on the hit Starz drama series. In a recent interview, Heughan explained how he started eating meat when he initially moved to the United States so that he could buff up a little and essentially transform his body. Heughan said, "I grew up a pescatarian and sort of vegetarian pescatarian. I didn't start eating meat until I came to America when I was 24. When Heughan was asked why he changed his diet, he confirmed what many had suspected and said, "At the time, I was auditioning for Superman, and I had a trainer, and they were like, 'You need to get bigger. You need to be able to fill out the cape.' He was like, 'Eat more protein.' I remember the first time I had chicken, and suddenly I was like, 'Oh my god, I have all this energy, and I don't feel hungry all the time.'" Heughan dove a little deeper into his audition process for the 2006 Superman Returns movie and said, "The movie, it was the Brandon Routh one. It was way back then. I did a number of auditions and met the producers, but we never screen tested or anything. It was the beginning of me sort of coming to America, I guess, and the audition process, and I realized I needed to change my body shape for the sort of roles I was going up for." Next up, what's currently going on in terms of Outlander's storyline? Let's take a look. Heughan, who is now 41 years old, is starring in the highly anticipated 6th season of Outlander, which first started airing at the beginning of March. The latest season saw Sam and Katrina Balfe reprise their roles as Scottish Highlander Jamie and his wife Claire. Season 6 will essentially follow the married couple as they struggle to protect their new home in colonial America during a period of political unrest, which many suspect will put the region on the verge of a revolutionary war. So there's certainly some trouble on the horizon for one of TV's favorite on-screen couples. Heughan recently opened up about some of his upcoming scenes as the heartthrob Jamie Fraser and his on-screen wife Claire, played by Katrina Balfe. Heughan revealed that despite the show making a big change to its season by having fewer episodes, fans can look forward to more scenes with Jamie and Claire. Heughan said that despite fewer episodes, there are somehow more scenes of the famed couple enjoying domestic life and each other's company. So fans won't be missing out on the quality time with the Frasers, regardless of the short series. Heughan explained, "You never get to see the domestic daily life of a couple who actually make things work. We do somehow spend more time with them. There are some lovely moments where you see Jamie and Claire just being in each other's company." When it was announced that the latest season of Outlander would only have 8 episodes, fans were understandably a little bummed out. However, they can rest assured that although there are fewer episodes, the season is just as action-packed as all the others. Up next, what happened at the most recent premiere of Outlander? Sam Heughan attended the recent premiere of Outlander, and it was an exciting event. He spoke about his experience and his excitement, despite the fact that his co-star Katrina was absent from the event. Sam said, "Kate's in America. She's just had a child, and right now, with everything going on in the world, we're just glad she can be a part of it virtually." And although it was unfortunate that Katrina wasn't present at the event, other cast members were there and had a wonderful time. Heughan said, "We have a large contingent of a very troublesome cast, so watch out tonight." Going back to the end of season 5, fans left Fraser's Ridge under bleak circumstances. Claire suffered a violent attack and was kidnapped by the Browns. And when that situation is resolved, there's still a lot of tension at Fraser's Ridge. The tension just keeps building up, and at some point, it's bound to spill over. There are threats, and we get this ominous feeling of dread that none of it's good and that something's bound to happen. Not like this is anything new in Claire and Jamie's storyline. We've seen it before, and somehow the couple manages to go through hell and come out on top of the other side. However, some fans are getting the feeling that a change is coming and that Claire and Jamie seem defeated for the first time. And who could forget Claire's dark voiceover that starts with the line, "Memory is the devil," and concludes with her telling audiences that people create their own ghosts and that we haunt ourselves. Stay tuned and don't go away as we take a deep dive into the first episode of season 6. Next up, how did fans react to the first episode of season 6 titled Echoes? You're about to find out. We're only one episode into season 6 and fans are already experiencing experiencing some serious anxiety. This is due in large part because of the fact that the Revolutionary War is on the horizon and threatening the peace and stability of Fraser's Ridge. Another reason for this palpable anxiety is that there are so many sketchy guys lurking around Jamie's land, and honestly, he's just way too nice and trusting, which leads us to the issue of Tom Christie. Christie, his son Alan, and daughter Malva, and a group of fishermen folk make up the newest arrivals at Fraser's Ridge. Christie isn't a stranger to Jamie, and audiences saw a 20-minute prologue scene set at Ardsmuir Prison in 1753. That shows us their troubled history. We get some valuable information from the prologue that sets up Jamie and Tom Christie's conflict, which will clearly be a primary storyline and plot point for the season. And if there's one thing that we know about Tom Christie, it's that he's not a nice guy. He hates Catholics and is a staunch Protestant. He kisses the rear end of the governor of prisons by becoming a Freemason. And while he preaches the word of God to others, he's literally one of the most selfish people around who only thinks for himself. In one scene, Tom gets extremely angry when Jamie, who just wants to serve his time and be left alone, is pulled into the middle as warring factions in the prison start to fight. Jamie decides to become a Freemason to keep the peace, and he tells his fellow prisoners that the prison is to be deemed a Freemason lodge, where politics and religion aren't allowed to be discussed. Jamie is a born leader, and that really gets on Christie's nerves. Up next, of all the places to go, why did Tom Christie choose Fraser's Ridge? Let's find out. Tom Christie ultimately decides to move him and his family to Fraser's Ridge after running out of other options and seeing an invite that Jamie put out to all Ardsmuir prisoners to come and settle on the land. When Christie comes knocking at the door and Roger and Bree are the only ones home, Roger happily extends a warm welcome to this Ardsmuir prison man. When Jamie learns that Tom Christie is sitting in the kitchen, the news from Roger is that Christie will permanently be settling at Fraser's Ridge, and Jamie can't believe it. Jamie feels like he has to let it slide, so he invites his Ardsmuir prison buddies to his land because he doesn't feel like he can exclude just one. Tom Christie is nothing but trouble from the start, and it kills him that Fraser's Ridge is Jamie's land. Not surprisingly, one of the first things Christie wants to do is build a church, and Jamie knows that Christie's particular brand of preaching is only going to lead to even more unrest. And have you noticed that Christie routinely tries to take jabs at Jamie? He talks about Jamie's scars and his time in prison and implies that he's not a good man. And Christie's one to talk because his son and daughter are literally the poster children for the consequences of lousy parenting. Finally, what happened at the Hog's Feast? Speaking of Jamie Christie's almost demonic children, when the Frasers host a hog feast at the Big House, members from Browntown arrive to arrest Alan for stealing a gunpowder horn. So now, in addition to having to deal with Tom Christie, he also has Richard Brown to contend with. If you recall, Richard Brown started a so-called safety committee and is a member of the Browns from Brownsville. The safety committee was created by Brown so he could essentially do whatever he wanted and create his own set of laws for himself and his cohorts. As you can see, Jamie and Claire are about to have their hands full. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching.